I was in a car. I was with two friends. It was the pre-dawn hours. We were on our way to the airport, and I have to say, now that I say that out loud, these were very good friends because it was pre-dawn hours on our way to the airport. I had an early morning flight, so it was dark, and as we're making our way through this city, and the horizon started to glow. We were sort of heading east, and you know that time right before, like it gets pink, and then it starts to sort of get more yellow. So that was happening, and my friend in the passenger seat started to clap and hoot, started going, woo! And then the friend driving put his two fingers, I don't know how to do this, he put the two fingers in and he whistled. Can anyone do that? No, I can't do it. I definitely can't do it. You can sort of do it. Okay, so he started doing that, and so as not to be, the loser in the back seat, I was like, woo! on the door, and we were howling and cheering and clapping for the sunrise. I want to say again, it was pre-dawn, early in the morning, pre-coffee, there was traffic. You would think nobody was happy in this car, but there we were celebrating. We were choosing joy in that moment. We were hooting and hollering. Every human who has ever lived has seen a sunrise. In fact, the sun rises every day. It has, from the beginning of time, has always risen. This you might call a mundane moment, and yet there we were, responding with everything we had. A totally predictable moment that we were making unpredictable with the outpouring of joy coming from us. I have said this before, and I'll say it again. Joy is not in the circumstance. It's in the response. Last week, I preached here, and it was sort of heavy, right? I talked about the seduction of empire. We talked about atonement next week. And I just thought it's all been a little bit heavy, and maybe we need something of a break. The country is fractured and fragmenting. Most of us are feeling raw or overwhelmed. Maybe you're feeling frightened or angry, or both. Does that sound familiar? So we're talking about heavy things, we're feeling pretty raw, and I thought, I don't care that this is the Sunday that we always talk about climate. And we do, we always do. Given everything that's happening though, I decided to skip it. Just not gonna get into that heavy subject, right? You know we're in trouble. I know we're in trouble. I know you know we're in trouble. Today, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about joy. Because joy is what we need in this moment. Joy is the nourishment, the food that's going to keep us going. When I was in 8th grade, we were learning about the Depression. And we were given an assignment to interview our grandparents to find out what their lives were like during that time. So we were, told about poverty and food insecurity, about soup kitchens, about homeless camps, about child labor. And the teacher was hoping to make this more real by sort of grounding us in our own personal histories. So I recorded a conversation I had with my grandmother. And during this interview, first my grandmother was like, she's like, I don't know what your teacher's talking about exactly. Like, we were poor long before the 1930s. She said, there's a whole class of people who didn't notice that the stock market crashed. So that was actually interesting to me. So we were always poor. We were always food insecure. We were always like one payment away from homelessness. Food was always precious. She said, had one pair of underwear, I washed it in the sink every night. Her father was a tailor. He would bring work home with him every night, and every child in the family, old enough to hold a needle, which she said was about 5 years old, would help to do the work. And she loved it. She loved that all the families hung out on the roof because apartments were too small for families with all those kids. And that rooftops all over the Lower East Side were second bedrooms for every family in the building, creating this experience of a sleepover every night of the year, except in the dead of winter. She loved how helping her father taught her how to sew. She loved commuting to work when she was 14 years old, skirting the new labor laws. She loved the sophistication she felt as a middle school dropout pretending to be 16 in an uptown office where she saw a phone for the first time and got to wear stockings. My 8th grade teacher listened to this conversation with my grandmother and he laughed. He wanted me to understand the struggle of generations before me, but instead, my genuinely cheerful grandmother made the Great Depression sound like fun. My grandmother was filled with joy. It is just who she always was. It was her natural disposition. My grandmother joked on her deathbed. I was there, she's literally dying. She's dying, she's in her deathbed. The doctor came in and sort of essentially explained to her that she wasn't dying as fast as he would have thought. And she turned to me and said, "I'm always late," and then cracked up. Joy is not in the circumstance. It is in the response. I am no Pollyanna. I am quick to name toxic positivity. I'm in no way suggesting that anyone pretend that things aren't dire or that your fear or anger are unfounded. I'm saying this is the life we are given. We can opt for joy. And opting for joy from time to time is not a betrayal of people suffering, and it is not a denial of a crisis. It is a necessary framework for survival. And more than survival, it's what makes survival worthwhile. It's what makes the fight worth our time. Joy is the source of our power. And joy is available when we want it. I mean, like right now, right? This parade is a pain every year. Our staff talk about it in advance. We've marked it on our calendars. We strategize how we're going to figure this one out. We know a lot of people aren't going to come to church that day. It is loud. It's crowded. It starts early. It ends late. It's impossible to walk through those sidewalks. It is nearly impossible for people to go from the west side to the east side. I mean, we had Jason out there trying to tell Christina like how to get across the street. And you can hear them in here. Right? Yeah. I'm not lying. There it is. And that parade is so much fun. I mean, really, you can hear them in here. People get into those subway cars. Everyone's in their matching Mexican jerseys. There are strangers all dressed up in their best red, white, and green. There are kids sitting on their father's soldiers, waving their flags. There are people speaking the language that they love. There are trumpets. There are street vendors. There's churros. There are chicharrones. There are people dancing salsa down the middle of Madison Avenue, I think right now. It is amazing. There are tens of thousands of people. They are remembering the struggle. They're remembering independence. They're remembering that the fight is worth it and even joyful when they do it together. And we might be annoyed at the inconvenience, but we can also rejoice at the magic of it. Our response is a choice. Joy is there for the taking. Joy is available right here, right now. On cue. I saw yesterday a picture of a beautifully quilted laundry basket. And I laughed. I thought, who needs a beautiful laundry basket? But you know what? Maybe we all do. We definitely need clothes that bring us joy. I mean, do you have a favorite cardigan? Or a scarf? Something you like to wear in your hair? A pair of socks that make you laugh? I actually have a note here that says, look at Christina or Katie. Am I wrong? Christina walks around. Tell me this isn't true, Christina. Christina walks by me on Sundays and I say, I love you. Because she looks so joyful. She looks all put together. She looks like she loves the world. And then when she walks by me, I'm like, really? And if you see Katie on any of our videos, right, everyone's wearing their like New York City black. And then there's Katie in some like hot pink shirt or great big yellow dangly earrings. Now she's got the silver ones on. She's wearing leopard pants. Janice Marie over here, when I met Janice Marie, it was with her twin sister Hope. We were on an anti-racism committee, which meant that every time I saw Janice and Hope, they were together and they're identical twins. So I had to figure out very quickly how I was going to ever know which was which. And I learned almost immediately that Janice Marie wears orange. And I have to say, I did not tell her this, but there she is in her orange, which always reminds me, immediately when I met her, reminds me of a Caribbean sunset and her Jamaican heritage. And so every time I saw her, I would think, there's that gorgeous orange, it's Janice Marie. We should all be wearing clothes that bring us joy. We should be dressing ourselves up in whatever we want, because life is complicated and painful. So let's wear things that make us happy. Wear white after Labor Day, and that's a classist rule anyway, but wear white after Labor Day. Break every fashion rule you've ever heard. Mix silver and gold. Wear stripes with prints. Wear crop shorts even if you're over 30. Stop waiting for some fancy occasion to wear that dress you love. Just wear it through Bryant Park. And no one should be dressing their age. Right? Dress whatever age you want. Hey, do you all know Dylan? Yeah. Dylan is back there. Dylan is a 20, he's in his 20s. I will not out you with your age. He's a white man in his 20s. And I knew this would be true. You're wearing a 3-piece suit today, aren't you? Yes, that's right. I wrote it down here because I knew it would be true. Because I have never met Dylan without a 3-piece suit. Wool in winter, seersucker in the summer, sometimes with a big 20s straw hat when we're having our picnic over in Central Park. There are people who just know how to do what they want to do, who know how to deck out, dress up, wear heels, wear flats, grow your hair long, cut it short, do your nails. I heard Gracie had some fabulous nails. Brother Zachary has done his nails. I did my nails yesterday. Do it. Do whatever it is. All of it for the fun of it. We are here for one life, and this is it. So whatever it is that brings you joy, do it. Opera season is starting. I bet Jason knows that. There's a museum in Harlem that's opening in November. Darnell has a show over in Soho in October. Do something iconic like walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. There's a free dance class at Bryant Park. Whatever it is that brings you joy, do it. We are lonely, we're stressed, we're bickering, we're compulsively online, we're holding grudges, we're making mountains out of molehills. We are trying to control whatever we can control, just looking for somewhere to release anxiety and anger. Find new things. Do old things. Find a new friend. Invite someone to something. Remember, joy isn't in the circumstance. It's in the response. And the X factor in that is you and me. All of us. So before we leave today, I have brought babka. I brought cinnamon babka because my son said, if you want to bring joy, you should bring cinnamon babka. And so I did. I have several back there, plus a chocolate, because apparently some people like chocolate. I would love for you to grab a cup of coffee and some vodka and sit yourself down and have a conversation with somebody, because life is too short. We only have this one. We are only here right now. We have no idea what's next. So let's just sit back, have a conversation, and enjoy ourselves.